A second ago.
Hello, everybody. It's us again. It's the Geeky Weekly crew. With who knows what we're gonna do? We don't even know ourselves. We just sort of press play and press start, and things happen. I might sit here and play Fallout while these. Well, Mark have to talk on his own because Kyle's got away. Kyle's gone for
Hey, I sure was driving me nuts.
At least get dressed before you come on the stream, mate.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah, can you stop trying to turn all the women on, Kyle?
Yeah.
If we wanted to see you half naked, we'd join your OnlyFans page, mate. That's not how we roll. You know, oh dear, shocking.
Yeah, that shirt was driving me nuts. I thought I had a couple more minutes, and then
I'm glad it was your shirt and not your trousers. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was your shirt and not your trousers, because that could have been very messy.
Yeah.
Could have been, you know. Me and Mark ain't getting any younger, and the sight of
it could have caused heart problems.
Yeah, it might have scarred what little years we had left, mightn't it? Mate?
Yeah.
You know, never have a good night's sleep again if we caught a sight of that.
Yeah.
The Kylosaurus or whatever he calls it. Oh dear. I don't even know what we're going to do today. We're not going. It feels like now that with the Tuesday night what's in the box thing is like pretty much the same as this. Really, I kind of think that we should have like it says Geeky Weekly, but all we talk about really is comic books. We should do some research into other geeky stuff. What's going on in the world? Any new TV shows coming out? Does anybody know? Has anyone seen?
I'm happy to do a TV review.
Yeah.
So I've watched a Netflix program I actually quite liked, and it's called Wednesday, and it's about Wednesday Addams. So
right.
it's a Addams family thing.
Yeah.
And it's got what's his name, Burton involved. The guy who did,
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton,
not Richard Burton.
Not no, where he's a bit dead.
He's a bit dead, yeah, a little bit dead.
So it's Tim Burton's director
anymore either.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying it. It's been done really, really well. I mean, Wednesday is sort of sent off to a sort of private school, so unfortunately, we don't see a lot of the family other than Thing.
Okay,
Thing. Thing joins her at the school.
Okay,
and the acting from Thing is phenomenal.
All right,
is hands down the best acting, right?
Absolutely, you've nailed it. So I was really surprised.
Is my favourite cousin It on there?
Wasn't it?
Is cousin It on there as well?
No, I haven't seen cousin It yet.
No, cousin It. How comes, man? That's not right.
I know.
It?
So it's set in a school. So I thought it was going to be one of these teenagey thing.
Yeah.
But it's really, really good. The scripting is excellent. There's some great one-liners. Gwendolyn Christie, who was on. I don't know if you know. Do you know Gwendolyn Christie? She was in what was it called? She was
Big Lebowski.
No, it'll come to me.
How many syllables? Are we playing charades? Is it a book? Film?
It was a television program.
Oh.
It was lots of war.
That's a movie. There
was a cold area in the north. There was a king of the north.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Gwendolyn Christie. So she was in Game of Thrones. She's the headmistress of the school.
Who was she in Game of Thrones? She's not the one who's the big Brienne of Tarth, the big tall lady.
Yeah, her. So she's the headmistress.
Okay.
At the school. And so there's a great scene where Wednesday is there and Gwendolyn Christie is playing the headmistress. And she said, right, Wednesday, you need to do an extracurricular activity because we like our pupils to be well-rounded. And Wednesday says, I like to stay sharp-edged.
Right, okay.
So there's some great one-liners. The actress playing Wednesday does it really, really well. So there you go. A non-comic related thing. I do recommend. It's also got great reviews, not just from me, but from other people as well. So forget all that Disney stuff, forget all that MCU stuff. Go and watch Wednesday.
And it's a Wednesday today as well. So
I used to love the Addams Family.
Yeah.
They were kooky, they were gooky, and a little bit spooky.
Yeah. I can't talk, so I can't do that.
I can't do it either.
No.
And of course, based on the art of Charles Addams,
Hold on.
who was a American cartoonist who did a cartoon, who did sort of weird sort of cartoons.
Right.
And that's actually Wednesday on the cover there with Grandma, who's baking biscuits in the shape of bats.
I see.
So this is the Penguin Classics, Penguin Charles Addams, 4 shillings and 6pence. It's just great cartoons in here.
What they call the Addams Family to start off with?
Sorry?
But it always
they started here in cartoons by Charles Addams.
Yeah, were they called the Addams Family though? Or was they just named?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I'm not sure. That was probably a name that was given to them.
They started. He did them at university for the university paper. I actually think it was the Harvard Lampoon where he started it. Then, the New York Post or whatever, the New York Times or whatever, the Times picked it up, and then it went syndicated. And he started doing it in the early 50s.
I'm taking the Munsters are just a rip-off, were they, the Munsters?
Yeah, the Munsters
were a rip-off of the Addams Family, yeah.
All of them were a rip-off on them. Then in 1964, they made a TV show out of it. Then in the 90s, they made movies of it. And Christina
the movies were great.
Yeah, Christina Ricci played Wednesday then. And I know you're not through 8 episodes yet because you hadn't talked about the other parts of the family. But Christina Ricci's in this, and she plays the
teacher. So she's the art teacher. Yeah.
She's one of the teachers, and she's the dorm mistress.
That's right.
And welcomes her in, and
fair enough. So
Uncle Fester's coming.
It's Wednesday.
They referenced Cousinette, but Uncle Fester is coming. If you're not that many episodes in.
No, I've only watched about 3 or 4 episodes, but really enjoying it.
Coming, but they reference Cousinette quite a few times. They even reference Cousinette in the first episode in an indirect way. But my wife absolutely loved it, but she loves Tim Burton. I'm playing catch up on it now, but I've already watched all the spoiler reviews on it and everything.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it too, Kyle. I just really enjoyed it. It could have been
my 2 biggest beefs, and I love Louis Guzman. I love Louis Guzman. He's a fun actor, but he's too cheesy in this as the dad. He should be a little less cheesy. And I've always hated Catherine Zeta-Jones anyway, so she's just a brush off.
Well, they don't play too big a part in it, to be honest, because they're. I thought Catherine Zeta-Jones quite good. I actually quite like the mum and dad. The problem is that the couple that played Morticia and what's his name, Gomez Addams in the films were perfect. They were absolutely fantastic. So trying to follow on from them is quite tricky.
Well, Academy Award-winning actors like Raul Julia and
Angelica Houston.
Angelica Houston, yeah.
I mean, Angelica Houston was just phenomenal as Morticia. So I thought they were brilliant in the movie. So trying to follow on from them was difficult.
Yeah.
But the girl that plays Wednesday does a fantastic job.
They always seem to nail that.
Rob Zombie as well. Is it Rob Zombie doing the director or something?
No, Zombie.
Zombie
relaunched the Monsters, and that.
The Monsters he did, right?
That was terrible.
There's a Monsters and there's a Blinky Addams Family going on at the same time, kind of thing. Okay. Oh well, I dare say maybe I'll get around to see them. Who knows? I've no idea when I'm going to ever get to see anything anymore, because it depends if it happens to be on a channel that I've got access to. Yeah.
Wednesday is a lot of fun. The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas show, fantastic. Probably, in my opinion, the best Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, is it out?
Yeah.
What channel is it on?
Disney Plus.
Oh, well, I won't be watching it then.
It's only about 40 minutes long. It's only about 40 minutes long. It doesn't really get into too much.
Is it a riff on the old Star Trek Christmas special?
Star Wars. It's kind of a rip on that. You can see that. It's relevant to the movies. I was grossly unimpressed by both the Guardians movies for different reasons. I mean, there were sections of them I just loved to no end, and other parts where I was just meh. But
I wasn't fussed about the Guardians movies because it was like mostly characters that I didn't know from the Guardians. It was like new characters I hadn't really seen before.
The one they brought up, Yondu, I love Michael Rooker. Michael Rooker.
Yeah, it's very good.
But he's not Yondu. I mean, they just screwed that character up. They should have picked him for a different character. You know, they kind of got stupid with Starhawk with Stallone too. But Rooker just played Rooker. I mean, he was a plug and play character. He could have been the guy off The Walking Dead or whatever.
Well, they completely changed Yondu's character, didn't they? Because Yondu in the
Yondu was an Indian hippie. Yeah. Yondu was like an Indian hippie.
Yeah, or a priest when he was like a worshipper of what his gods were, like a priest in his tribe thing.
He was all mellow and made Yondu all, tough guy. And it's like, oh my God, I love Rooker, but don't make him that character.
Whatever.
But I kind of like this. But this Guardians episode is so much damn fun. I hated it ended.
You've got to separate the comic books from anything else that comes on. Really, anything to do with comic books. So don't think about the comic books while you're watching it. It's just the same character. Some names were used, but any what's the word? Any similarity to characters that already existing is purely coincidental kind of thing.
Now, the Guardian special is real comic booky without being cartoony. It literally comes off like a comic book, and it plays really funny. I mean, they're finding a niche here with these, because the Halloween special, which was a short one, was really good. And if you're now saying this Christmas special is really good.
What was it? Guardians of the Galaxy Halloween special?
No, it was the Werewolf by Night was the Halloween.
Oh, right. Okay, right. Yeah. No, I'm not seeing that. I ain't seeing that. If it comes to Amazon or blinking Netflix, maybe I'll see it. Like I'll see the Eternals and the new Batman movie and whatever other stuff I'm not even had a chance to look at yet. Too many bloody channels. Let's go back to 4 channels. Let's go back to 3 channels like we had back in the 80s. That'd be better. Be better for all involved.
I really
watch Snooker in black and white again, Gray.
Yeah, exactly. Doctor Who behind the sofa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many channels.
Talk about old farts. But yeah, I did not. That was far too short of a show. I mean, they just kind of had to wrap it up quick, and you could tell they had to wrap it up quick. But they had so much fun with it. And the original songs in there are hysterical.
The songs on there, blimey, that's a weird old fisting.
Because they do, and because the Guardians are known for their soundtracks of old music, and there's hints of old music in there, but there's a lot of new songs. They wrote new Christmas songs for it. And the one that tells the story, aliens singing about their interpretation of Santa Claus, hysterical. Absolutely hysterical.
I'm going to have to watch this. Probably after this.
And I don't know if you're familiar with the band, the Old 97s.
No.
They're kind of a Stray Cats type of band.
Right.
And they wrote a song with James Gunn about Christmas, and they deck out the band as aliens, different types of aliens. And then they sing this song about Christmas the way they've interpreted it through the way it's gotten to them. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm 5 minutes into the show, you're just standing up going, oh, hey, that's hysterical. Whoa, that's fun. and then the whole concept, the whole setup to the story. If you've seen the trailers, you know what the setup to the story is. So,
no, not seen the trailers.
well, I won't be spoiling things here when it sets up the trailers, but
I really don't care about spoilers because I probably won't get to see it anyway. So it's kind of like, okay, I've seen it now. I've got the spoiler. I don't need to see the film, you know.
I mean, they're off in space. Peter got grabbed when he was a kid,
Yeah.
They happen to realize that it's
don't tell Mark the spoilers though, because he's going to watch it.
Yeah, so, don't give me any spoilers. I don't want any spoilers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you've seen the trailer, it's not.
I haven't seen any trailers either, so I'm just going to watch it.
But it revolves around them discovering Christmas and trying to bring Christmas to Pete.
Yeah.
So, and how they do it is ridiculously funny.
Mark, do you buy our stuff off eBay for your stackery?
Do I? Sometimes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I can only find things on US eBay.
I'm seeing stuff on the US eBay that you can't get here. I was wondering if I can bloody order it and like when it comes in, sort it out kind of thing.
If you see something, Gray, that you want,
there's like I'm trying to finish off my runs, and like literally after time, it's like it's not available in the US. It's like like Ghost Rider 21. Backlash number 7, all the Defenders ones. If you buy them in the UK, they're all 40 quid. But if you get them from the US, you can get a copy for $8. You know.
Exactly. That's why I use Stackery, because quite often I'll find, because I have US and UK eBay up, and I will look at both. And quite often, exactly as you say, the only copy in the UK is like 40 quid.
Yeah.
Whereas the one on US eBay at $8.
Yeah.
In New Hampshire, it's almost free shipping. So even with $5-10 shipping from Stackery, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, you get more option in America as well.
So if you see something you want, Gray, just let me know. I'm happy to put it onto my Stackery, but you have to wait. So what I do for Stackery, it works when I accumulate sort of 30 or 40 orders.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes a month. And then it takes another week to get it. It's why I still haven't got Kyle's stuff. Because I went to Factory and I had a few other things coming in that I wanted to add to it. So, and then it
you got to get a certain amount to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, the more you accumulate, the more it.
How can they make it cheaper then? They've got some sort of special shipping deal. They repackage everything as well, don't they? They open it all up. And
so what happens? It's like a. You've got a box. Imagine you've got a little bit of a warehouse.
Yeah.
So when the package arrives for you, you've got a box number. They just put that package in your box.
Yeah.
They tell you when it's arrived. And you get all the tracking information. So when Kyle's thing arrived, I could see it. They take a photo of it as well. So they take a photo of all the stuff.
That's cool.
And it goes in your box. And when you want to consolidate it, you just tell them, right, these 10 orders, consolidate them into one package. They then consolidate it. You then say, okay, and then they give you various shipping options for that box, saying, you can pay a cheap one or you can pay an expensive one. It's a really good service. And they're really good. I mean, I've never had a problem with them.
Yeah,
and now a couple of UK people have had problems in terms of some damage with shipping, but I've had about 20 boxes from them and no issues at all.
Yeah, I mean, it can always happen, can't it? The odd occasion something might go wrong, something gets crashed or something.
But it's so much cheaper, I think it generally costs me. It's usually about so the one with Kyle's stuff was more because I insured it.
Yeah,
but it's usually about $150, which sounds, if you're bringing one thing over, that's expensive. But I've usually consolidated about 20 orders.
Yeah.
So it ends up being about $7 an order. Whereas if I was bringing them over individually,
it'd
be $40 for a $7 comic, and you're just not going to do it.
I've nearly got to Kyle's stuff to read. Nearly got to it. I've been reading like a gun. I've read all the Mandrake stuff that I bought after we chatted with him. I bought a couple of series. I bought the I can't remember what it's called now, the Hell Rewrite or something like that. The art was fantastic, Mandrake art, but the story was just bollocks, to be honest. It was just like, I'm reading, I couldn't understand what the hell was supposed to be going on. It's like, okay, what was that? How was that supposed to be happening? Where these guys suddenly come from? What is the reason that they're doing this? And it was like, it was so poorly explained. Like, in the end, I thought maybe something's going to come up and it's going to like illuminate or something, but it didn't. It was just like, and I was in the end, I was just like, well, I'm just going to enjoy the art. You know what I mean? There's only 5 issues, but then I read the graphic novel, the trade. Kronos Vampire Hunter, based on an old Hammer horror movie that I never saw.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen it.
Really. I feel like watching it now because I enjoyed the comic book. It was cool. It was just like a vampire, like a medieval vampire yarn, but it was cool. It like sort of articles in the back about the original movie, about the casting and the making and all that kind of thing. Yeah, sucker for a Hammer movie back in the day, the classics. They come back for a while, didn't they? I'm not sure if they're actually active again now or not. I know one time, I don't know, must have been maybe the early 2000s, I'm not sure. They did another film and Christopher Lee, wasn't it? Like really old Christopher Lee. I can't remember what it was called now. It wasn't a great movie. But I'm not sure if they're still ongoing as a...
They were still going... I think they were still going late 70s, weren't they? Hammer horror.
Yeah, they did a long hiatus when they came back. But I said, I don't know if the return actually carried on or not, or whether it disappeared, whether it fell away. You're not a fan of horror movies? Did you say something like that before? I can't remember now.
Oh, I like horror movies.
Oh, you like horror movies? I can't remember what I heard. Okay, cool. I've not seen a good horror movie for a while, actually. I keep watching
the last Hammer horror film was To the Devil a Daughter in 1976.
Oh, right. No, definitely something more recent than that. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to look up Christopher Lee's, what do you call it, filmography, because I'm sure it was supposed to be a Hammer movie.
Well, that was the last Hammer film. He might have been in another horror films. He's been in horror films after that, but it weren't.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I'm sure I remember it being a Hammer movie. That was the selling point of it.
Okay. Well, according to Wikipedia, the last one was To the Devil a Daughter in 1976.
It might just be catching on the name or something. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure there was a... no, that's his IMDb. I'm sure there was another one. Unless I would know. I don't know. I can't see. I can see what you said here. All Hammer horror films from 1955 to 1976. The Quatermass films were good as well. I quite like Quatermass.
Oh, they were really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed the one in the London Underground.
Yeah, I don't. It's like sort of like what you think someone would have picked it up and run with it and made more films of him, because he was just like a scientist investigator, wasn't he? Really? Do you remember there was a TV show of it, like in the 70s, I think?
Quatermass, yes, I think there was a Quatermass TV series. Yeah,
the 70s or 80s. I remember being a kid and watching it every week. I remember I've got vague memories. There's something to do with some guy who was a perfumier and he had a really powerful sense of smell, and there was some kind of pheromones being used to draw people to Wembley Stadium to be zapped up by aliens or something like that. Does that ring any bells? Oh my! Did I dream?
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah. There was a Quatermass TV series. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, I'm sure I remember Wembley being in it, and something to do with Musk was being mentioned. Some guy was saying we're using pheromones that attract humans or something weird like that. My company on Sundays watch your videos on TV. Okay, what company? What, the whole company? How many people? It's interesting. Well, I think Kyle's got one of his what do you call it? It's one of his character studies.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I haven't got any panels that please me.
Have you not done a no?
No, can't bother, mate. Can't bother. Like I was putting them up, like 12 people watching. It's like it's not worth it. It's not worth the hour. Or whatever.
Quite a lot of people watched your horror compilation things. They were really good.
Not really. I mean,
I watched one. It was really what you got some voice actor in to do the.
It was Jackson Roy Kirk.
Yeah.
Jackson Roy Kirk was always quite often in chats. Like, yeah, he does really good voices. He's done them before. He's done one before a few years ago. But I think he uses an emulator or what. I don't know what he uses, but he does definitely. He makes all the characters sound different. Well, I can't remember what the voice was for a character from 1 minute to the next. My voices go all over the place when I'm trying to do a character. I can't remember what the voice was. It's hard to like go back to exactly the same voice again, you know. Yeah. One of the reasons I don't do this amount, like if they was getting, I don't know, 100 views each, that would be better. But like this time, I think one of them had about 20 views. It's just like, oh, what's the point? What's the bloody point?
Yeah, I'm doing all right at the moment. My videos are sort of getting my video of the London Comic Marks at about 150 views at the moment.
Jesus, I don't. I think it's because I've got too much different stuff on my channel that I go for. I think it's the word for the D. I think you're better off concentrating on one type of video.
Yeah, because you do music, you do comics.
I have done all sorts over time. Yeah, so a lot of people. There's very few people who watch my channel who like everything that I do. You know what I mean? So it kind of apparently it's a detriment to your channel.
Well, I'm not interested in watching you play solitaire. You know, that doesn't really.
Yeah, of course not. But that's my problem. That's my fault for making it so varied. You know.
I was looking around your channel the other day, and I could just kick you square in the arse. You got 1 million+ views on all your stuff, and you kvetch about stuff. I mean, I know you've been on YouTube since 2006.
Yeah, the cumulative views don't make nothing, mate. The cumulative views don't mean nothing. They've got 3,000 plus subs and literally get like 10 views per video. It's like, you know, I'm like the smallest medium-sized channel in the world or something. I don't know. Got big subs, but poor views. Don't even get 100 on bloody cover slingers. If I get 80, it's like a good video.
Yeah, that is criminally underwatched because that's a great show.
Yeah,
everybody keeps saying that too. I keep hearing that on one channel after another, but people just don't watch it enough.
Yeah,
if that was in the States, if you were in the States, Gray, that would be you'd be one of the influencers.
Yeah. Who knows? I've got I don't know if everyone's like when we was talking about first starting the show and doing bits. I've got like I was going to play like Who's Who. I've got some old Who's Who videos of like characters.
Okay.
I don't know if everyone wants to watch one of those at some point. Who's Who? They're about 5 minutes long though.
Yeah. Well, another thing we could do, especially if I sent out the invite to a few people. I mean, Hillary's said he was kind of tied up, so he probably wouldn't make today. You know, he may peek in later, but we'll get him next week when Mark's got those in, and he can hit him with the SpongeBob questions. And then I sent a link to Montreal Johnny, and I think when he gets home from the doctor, he may pop on.
Was he the guy? Was Montreal Johnny that guy you had on before? Had the most amazing comic collection.
Yeah.
Oh, the little tidbits you saw of it.
Didn't he show the AF-15? Was that him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
M1, and that's just tidbits of his collection. So you ain't seen nothing yet. So, you saw some big ones, but you ain't seen nothing yet. But get a couple in here and then pull out a book like you did and say, hey, you know, run a gamut, 4 or 5 people and say, can you name everybody on this cover?
Yeah.
You know, those are fun. Of course,
yeah, that was good fun.
Avengers and
it helps if the person asking the questions knows who the characters are.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Jackie Thunder. I looked at it like up close.
I declared you the winner, Kyle, but actually, I'm not sure about that because.
Well, I figured it'd be a tie if he got his.
Yeah, I
at least he guessed the one I didn't know. If he would have guessed Steel, I would have tapped out because I had no idea what the other one.
No.
Yeah.
So, but Steel, I knew. But yeah, I went over just since you wanted to talk about other than comic stuff, even though I did grab this, but I figured I'd grab some different things. This was in a GI's wallet. It's an it's an old photograph. It's a 40s photograph of his old All-Star comic. That's like All-Star 27 or something like that. But it's an original photograph.
A photograph of a comic. Okay.
Just an old pocket. This guy had it in his wallet like his girlfriend's picture. Just a beat up old photograph.
So when he was there in the trenches, instead of showing
Yeah.
this is a picture of my girlfriend or my wife.
Yeah, it's a picture
of my All-Star Comics.
Yeah.
How do you know that? How do you know that someone had that in their wallet?
That's my buddy got it that way. Like from the wallet. Got it from the wallet. So now speaking of wallet pictures that you don't see every day.
Yeah, keep it clean, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm keeping it.
Who knows what Kyle's got in his wallet?
Hi, Sleepy.
World War One. There's a World War One victory celebration parade at the Champs.
Oh, nice. That's great. Yeah.
This is the Marines liberating Paris in World War One from a Marine's perspective. In the Champs-Elysees, and I've even got the original negative.
Okay.
So again, this was stuck in a scrapbook in a little store accounting book of the families, and that was a nice little find in there. And it's a World War One war bond drawing.
For our boys at the front. Is that National Moose, is that?
The Moose Lodge in the United States, 1917.
Yeah, the good old Moose boys.
And then since it was over there, I always loved showing off the
House of Moose.
There's a handwritten letter from 1820.
And what does it say?
From Leipzig. How are you? I'm doing well. There.
Yeah.
But it's got the old wax stamp on it that. But I've got it preserved. But I love having a 203-year-old letter in my hands. So, or 202-year-old. 202-year-old letter in my hand.
Yeah.
And that's the old story. That's where stamps came from, was the old wax stamp.
Yeah, nobody's going to be preserving 200-year-old emails, are they?
No, that's very true. Yeah, people don't write letters anymore, do they? It's crazy the things that disappear. You think will be like in the society. Wouldn't a thing of the past.
So I recently took part in this auction here. So this is one of the few auction companies in the UK that actually produce a physical catalogue, which is really nice. Okay. They're called Comic Book Auctions Limited.
Oh.
And they run an auction every 2-3 months. Really good. Very well organised. You've got a nice letter here from the organiser.
I doubt you'll get any bargains there, though, mate. If there's comic books,
you don't get any bargains. No, you will. I'll tell you some of the stuff I picked up. You tell me if I got any bargains.
Okay.
But you're right. They're well. They only do comics. They're not selling boxes and teapots.
Yeah. So they know the real value.
The people who are going on here, know what they're looking for, know what the prices are. So yeah, you're not going to get $1,000 comics for $10. No. But they recently acquired a pretty key collection from a guy called Michael A. Cox, who had they're calling it the Comic Book Archive. It's like one of these pedigree collections almost.
Yeah.
And they had some of the comics for sale in the last auction, and they arrived today. This was a week ago on Saturday. So they take a bit of time to arrive. The guy organizes it, does all the shipping and everything. So it takes a bit of time for them to come. But because you're buying from one of these collections, like a pedigree collection, the condition is phenomenal. I'm going to show you this one. I can't believe how old this is. So this is from my birth year. So this is older than me, actually, because this is from February 1959. And I did actually get my birthday comic as well. But this is unbelievable. look at this. This is World's Finest 99.
Wow.
The highest graded copy of this at CGC is a 9.4. I think this is probably, if I were to get this grade, I think this is better than a 9.4.
From 1959, bloody hell.
I think that could be, if I get that graded, I think that might be the best copy of this in the world. So the highest grade is a 9.4. I think that's at least a 9.4. It is phenomenal. How did you get a comic like that from 1959? You must have bought that, put it in some sort of drawer, and never looked at it for 50 years.
Yeah, so like Great Robot as well.
You know what's special about that book? I'm assuming.
What's special about that, Kyle?
Because I'm assuming you haven't even opened the pages up to it yet.
I haven't. No.
Yeah, you said that's issue 99.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got Jack Kirby Green Arrow art in the back of it.
Oh, it probably does have. Yeah. I didn't realize that. There you go. Thanks.
It does. I traded off my 96, but 96 through 99 had a Jack Kirby Green Arrow story in it.
Yeah, and I got a number of them, and so this is 101.
Cool.
Just in.
I love the covers on the old comics. They're
just amazing, aren't they? And you got speech bubbles, so it tells you what bloody hell's going on.
You got blurbs, probably with alliteration.
Superman. If I turn my ray machine on full power, Batman and Robin are doomed. The menace of the Atom Master.
Yeah, great stuff.
These are just incredible. Now, I think, Gray, I gave you some comics on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think I gave you a really beat up copy of this one.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think I gave you, it was really beat up. It got sellotape, all sorts of stuff on it. It was in awful condition.
This one I've got.
Is that the same one?
No,
it's a different one. Okay.
The other one had pages missing in the middle, so I couldn't even read it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh damn.
And here is my birthday issue of World's Finest. This is from August 1959. It's unbelievable. It's in better condition than I am, which is not I just think it's fantastic.
There's so much going on there, isn't there?
You're never going to find these. This just unless you get some collector like this who's got a special sort of pedigree collection.
Is that the big lot of World's Finest that you got?
I got quite a few World's Finest. And these will go into my collection. These are really early ones, Gray. So these are early.
$100, $200 each alone in there. Some of them are like real early ones. The
50s. Yeah. So these are actually early. So I've got a big, I bought a big batch, 100 World's Finest, but they're not in as good condition as this.
Oh, this is a different lot. Okay.
This is a different lot. Yeah, no. This is different. Here we go.
Cool.
So incredible condition. This one's good. The Negative Superman. I've never seen the Negative Superman before.
Sleepy Reader likes them. Oh yeah, I see him there. All black and white there. I think I've got probably, I don't know, maybe I've got 50 World's Finest. I'm not counting them, but I don't think there's one of them above 5.0.
No, I mean exactly. These are, you'll find these in dollar bins, but they won't be in this sort of condition.
Oh no, definitely not. I don't know about finding them in dollar bins. I think in America you'd probably find them in dollar bins quite handily, but not in the UK. I don't think.
No, they're not. You don't find them in the UK that frequently. Because they've all got these have all got the TNT on, so they're imported. They're dollar price. They didn't do the dual pricing on as many of them as they did on the Marvel comics.
Yeah.
It's just great. I love these.
I think mine are in box 40, so it'll be a few weeks before we get
there, because we're on about box 4, aren't we?
Box 4 now. Only 36 more weeks. Be patient. Hopefully there'll be a few more in there by the time I come to come to show them.
Anyway, so those are the world's finest that I picked up at that auction. When we move on a bit, I might show you some of the Batmans and Detective comics I picked up.
When did you get those? What, this week?
They arrived today. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Today.
Carl's again. Kyle, I don't know. What is he like? He's like, I don't know. He's in the back there. He's at the back there. He don't stick around to watch other people's stuff. He's off looking at getting at some more stuff.
I know. Well, when you show him stuff, he's very competitive. He's got to try find something.
He's always banging off looking for more comics to show. I suppose that's the point of it. All I can show you is my current read pile. I've kind of like whittled it down a fair bit, but I've added some more since you gave me a load of stuff, and mainly I can't really, there's no point me sharing my current read pile because it's just the stuff that I showed in my last video anyway. Actually, I can show that because not everyone would have watched the last video, would they? So let's show them again.
Yeah.
Got a few. I like 4 because they're normally quite cheap to pick up.
Yeah.
You know, you can normally get them for £1 on Facebook selling.
Yeah.
Another 90, maybe £1.50 maybe. These are the ones that Kyle sent me.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, we've seen that. I have. You've seen this.
Yeah. There's about 6 people watching. Maybe some of the people out there haven't seen them, so I'll show them again. And I've got the eye strainers, otherwise known as digests. It's going to be real hard on the old eyes, I bet, when it comes to reading them. They're cute though. Cute little things. I think I asked before if you've got any treasuries. You said you haven't got any treasury, have you? Did you say you had or hadn't? I can't remember now.
What, treasury editions?
Yeah.
The big ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got quite a few. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I haven't got any treasuries yet. Monday. It's kind of like, I'm not too sure if I'm that bothered because it's like it's going to be another, you have to find another place to store them kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're big, so you've got to have,
Yeah, you got to, I don't know, down the side of a box.
Right. That's what you store treasuries in.
Yeah, but
plastic tubs.
Yeah, that means more stuff for me to go out and buy. I save any money I've got spare. I save it for bloody well comics rather than things to put comics in. Hi, vampire. I've got these for free. One of the guys was giving out some free comics at the mart the other day in the pub next door. Just like some old ratty old ones that you wanted to get rid of, basically. So I helped myself to a few that I never had already. But now I have to pay to get the rest of the series if I ever get around to it. Skull Slayer. Got a couple of free Wonder Woman as well. There's another one with Statue of Liberty attacking.
Yeah, as she does.
Yeah, nice. Give me liberty or give me death, she says, and she attacks people. Yeah, I've happened to get this one for free. Number 146 of Captain America. All he's got is a sticker residue, a bit of tape pour and a sticker residue. But other than that, it looks like it's in good condition. So happy to have books like that all day long. You might recognise
this guy just sat with a box of comics, just saying "Help yourself."
Yeah, a couple of boxes, a little sign on it saying "Free Tat," and everyone just picked through them. He's done it before, actually, a couple of months ago at a mart. I think he must get like loads when he's, I don't know, trading or bulk buying or something, and then all the ones that he knows are
well, it's like me with these ones. I don't want them. I'm quite happy to put in a box and say I'd rather go. I'm going to throw them away, and you said don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That would count for me. It's got a tear. I've actually got that one without the tear.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a cover tape pull, but that don't bother me at all. You know what I mean? I'm quite. If I could pick up whole runs of just a tape pull here and there for cheap, sign me up.
That's Bernie Wright. That's Bernie Wrightson, that cover.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. The figures are kind of like a bit of a weird one.
It's a Bernie Wrightson cover. That.
Yeah. It's all reprints as well, isn't it? It's looking at a quick flick through. It looks like it's all old reprints, not original stories, but that's cool. Got 3 more to go on my Black Lightning run. I can start reading that. You got something to show us? Apparently, Sleepy Reader buys digest eagerly, but he never reads them.
Yeah, speaking of the chat, my mom peeked in. Hi,
Yeah, sure.
My mom peeked in. Damn it.
Sure.
Yep. There's my mom. I don't know if she's still there. So.
What's this company that watches our videos on TV?
Her and my aunt usually goes to visit her Sundays, and my grandnephew's over there, and sometimes my grandson's over there. And they sit down and watch these on Sundays. So. But yeah, he talked about his favorite World's Finest, so I had to grab my favorite current World's Finest.
Is that a foreign one? I don't know. Put you on the big screen.
That's my favorite World's Finest.
Stallmannen.
Is that Finnish or something? Norwegian?
From 8 November 1950.
Wow.
And it's like a reprint of World's Finest, like 36, 37, something like that.
Wow, that is though. What country is it in?
I'm pretty sure it's Finnish.
No, Spain doesn't have that little dots, little
No,
circle.
Finnish, not Spanish.
Finnish.
It's got to be some Scandinavian country, I'm sure.
Yeah, I said Finnish, not Spanish.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I thought you said Spanish. Sorry.
No.
It was me that wasn't hearing properly.
Kyle, your mum is threatening to show your bare bottom baby picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. She will eventually.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to get a picture of the inside of your bladder. I think your bare bottom would be an improvement.
Dear Mrs. Kyle, we have already seen bits of Kyle we never wanted to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mama Kyle.
Some type of Dutch thing here. Look, there's a Speedy stamp.
There you go.
So, but yeah, I had a World's Finest 96 that had Kirby in it. And
I was reading Green Arrow, the old Green Arrow. Recently, I got 2 volumes of it collected, kind of thing. The old, I can't remember what that set is called, but they're collected ones. There's like a series of all different old characters. And they are so crazy. Some of their arrows, some of the archery tricks that they get out to, just like completely daft as a brush. And they also got the arrow car, which was absolutely ridiculous. The arrow car would go along, and they'd literally have ejector seats that fly them out of the seats to go onto the top of buildings. And I just thought the logistics of that is just like how, you know what I mean? You just like you get splattered against the wall or something like that. It was just, you know, you got to suspend your disbelief in these things. But yeah, it's just.
Then you were talking about Treasury, so I went in and grabbed my tub of those. And if you're going to try and complete a Defenders run, well, you need
Defenders Treasuries.
Oh, nice.
The Treasuries they're not all reprints, are they? Some of them like Treasury size only, aren't they?
No, these Marvel ones are original stories.
Right. So you only get the Treasury.
I've got that one or not, Kyle.
If you need a Defenders run, you got to have that. Now this is mostly reprints.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's like original art pages in there.
Yeah, there's 2 Fantastic Four ones.
But is there a list of how many treasuries there actually are? Does anyone know how many treasuries were actually done?
Yeah, they know exactly how many, and we all know I own original.
Are you talking hundreds or thousands?
Yeah, I own original concept art to one of them, but yeah, they did like 36 DCs, 48 Marvels.
Okay, whatever.
Reddies.
Oh,
yeah, they were a 70s thing, late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, I mean, that's C21. There's a good Shazam.
So they are kind of collectible then, in that kind of numbers. It's not too terrible an amount, is it?
No, the problem is that because you can't grade them, they're not. Oh, that's nice.
Who needs to grade them? God's sake. Just read them. Appreciate them.
This one's all reprint.
I like that. I've got the Heights of Mystery one, but I haven't got the Ghost.
That's a treasury. I didn't realize it was a treasury. Yeah, that's a treasury.
Yeah, these are all treasury. And then when DC got a hold of Tarzan, they did one in Tarzan.
The Return of Tarzan. He's another character. Who was it saying that cowboy books have kind of died their death? You don't see them anymore. Tarzan's another character you don't really see anymore, do you?
No, jungle characters.
Now,
yeah.
Mind you, it's not from the 50s.
Unless it's a scantily clad woman. They're still popular.
Yeah.
This is a
Then
warehouse
Alan will
find.
buy them.
This is a warehouse find with like one ding right here. But other than that,
That's a Whitman.
And it's a Whitman variant, no less.
Whitman did. I didn't realize Whitman did treasures as well. So
no, DC commissioned them to do some. Only a small portion were Whitman variants. Them were
That's
DC.
nice, Kyle. I like that. What date's that one?
74, I do believe.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't tell you exactly because it's never been opened.
Okay.
There is no spine stress on this. It's never been opened. It's a warehouse find. It's got one ding right there. I've never opened it.
Wow.
And it's never been opened. It has no spine stress on it. So now this one
I'll show you the treasure edition
all day long.
What's that one?
Flash Comics.
Flash Comics 1. This was my introduction to Golden Age comics, not this particular issue. But this is one of the original 97 that my big brother had, was the famous first edition. So this is the Flash I learned about.
Oh, Jay Garrick.
Comics was Jay Garrick, which is why I knew Jay Garrick the other day. But yeah, this is my beater copy. But these were 73, 74, 75. Yeah. I think they went up to 77. Now, I'm guessing you might. There's my Tech 27.
Yeah.
Again, mild spine stress, but other than that, nice high grade. And then this one, I can't believe I did it. But those actually came in sealed plastic. I kept the sealed plastic, but I took it out of it.
Okay.
My Action 1.
Was that the first time it was reprinted?
Action 1, there were bits and pieces reprinted in anniversary issues and stuff, but as an entire issue, I think that might have been the first time they actually reprinted the entire issue with the additional 4 pages that they added in the newspaper strip that they'd originally cut out from it. On the origin story. And while I had other stuff, I always loved showing these off while I was over there. But how about a 1,600-year-old Roman coin? You doing all right, Mark?
I'm falling asleep, mate.
There's a.
You woken me up.
I had a couple of fights earlier on.
Coin. So
I actually been falling asleep.
Oh, where's that from? What country is that? Is that American?
It looks thick.
Oh, this is Holy Roman. That's Augustus Flavius. This is like 400 AD.
Oh, nice.
How much is a coin like that worth? Then do you know? They got like value. There's a lot of them around.
I never even look it up. So this is a Sumerian coin.
Sumerian, really? Surely they should be like not handled too much, so you don't rub the blinking. Rub them down.
That's called a Jerusalem widow's mite. Basically, it's a Jerusalem penny that's 2,000 years old.
Okay. Where did you get them from? You get them from a proper like coin dealership or something like that?
No, just stuff from all over the place. Now the rarest coin I have is like a 1978 dime. Nothing fancy about it there. Except they forgot to stamp the back of it.
Oh.
This is a mint error that's never supposed to actually leave the mint.
Okay.
So that's incredibly rare. And then a couple of 1769 coins. Let me get the name of this right. A 1769 Hibernia with King George IV on it.
Hibernia? Oh,
Hibernia.
Scotland, isn't it?
No.
Hibernia?
Yeah, but they don't have their own coins in that
No.
time. They're all UK coins.
Yeah. And then there's a 1769 Irish halfpenny that was used as continental currency here.
Okay.
So just random oddities. And I'm gonna sell on going into my character studies because I'm trying to keep stuff lighthearted and stuff. But
do your character study quite loud because you might make markup if you do. Proper old fart, you are Mark tonight.
I've been trying not to be somber again with things, but I realized something again about an hour ago. I realized what the date was today. I didn't even know what the date was today. So,
well, there's some.
It's a rough one. It's a rough one. Yeah, it's a rough one. It's a bit of a heartbreak, but I'm gonna do my character study here in maybe 10 minutes or so. I mean, unless we're gonna cut it short, I'm gonna go take a smoke break. But
yeah, no worries. No, I've got plenty. I'm used to know how you run this show. I've got nothing to bloody more show. I've shown me daily comics, and that's about it. I've got no kind of like.
I'll show some stuff while Carl goes on. So this is from the same.
Mostly on Tuesday night now.
So this is from the same auction I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. The ones that come today.
I think these are extremely rare. This is. I'm a bit of a fan of Flash Gordon.
Oh yeah.
This is. I saw these two on the auction. Two comics here actually. It's the Gordon Bread. So this is another bread company doing a promotion of, and they got a Flash Gordon magazine.
Okay.
Flash Gordon. And there were two of these. There's actually two of these in this pack, and I've got both of them here in really great condition. And I picked these up for $20, 20 quid. These two.
Right. Are they just like a few pages, or are they sort of thick comic books?
Yeah, they're about four. They're about 6 pages, something like that.
Yeah, so they look promotional for Gordon Bread, I take it.
Yeah. You've got this is Alex Raymond. He was the original artist on Flash Gordon. He was the guy who died in a car crash when he was about 46.
Okay.
So yeah, really, really.
He did the Phantom as well, did he? Who was he? Different.
Leaf Falk did Phantom. Leaf Falk did Phantom. He did Tarzan's and Flash Gordon. Raymond did Tarzan's and Flash Gordon.
Right.
Bern Hogarth and stuff.
Yeah, so these I think are very special. These sort of date from I think the 50s. Really great and in really clean condition. The only ones I could find of these were on my comic shop, and they had much worse condition ones of these selling for about $40-50 each. So I might get these graded.
Well, if you show those to Roger, he'll just be drooling all over them. Because those are premium giveaways, so
yeah. Roger would like those. I agree.
Roger, I would say, don't even spend your money grading them. Just show those to Roger and go, "What you got for me, buddy?"
yeah, that's true. Actually,
if you're gonna keep them, grade them and keep them. But if you're gonna move them, don't even spend the money grading them. Just go, "What you got, Roger?"
Yeah, because they're fantastic.
He ain't got those. If he's got those, he ain't got them in that high grade.
He loves his promotional stuff, doesn't he?
I'm talking about it. That's a good idea, Kyle. I'll talk to Roger and see if we can do a trade.
Because
he likes that sort of stuff, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, I've got like a short box and a half full of that stuff, and he laughs at my piddly little collection.
Yeah.
But he's a completionist and things like that, and he's got to have those. I look at him and go, "Yeah, those are neat. Yeah, it's neat. Some original Raymond."
Gray's now falling asleep. Right.
Yeah,
okay, next up.
I cut the nice pints of stout earlier on, so.
So next up, it's there we go. It's
my God,
Amazing Adult Fantasy 7. Now, you're all familiar with Amazing Adult Fantasy 14, which is obviously the first Spider-Man.
No, 15 is for Spider-Man.
But
14
this is
the last Amazing Adult Fantasy. 15 is Amazing Fantasy.
15. Okay. But this is actually the first Amazing Adult Fantasy.
Adult. Yeah.
I don't know if I ever saw it as adult fantasy.
Yeah. That was the middle.
So, because before this, it was called something else. I can't remember what it was called. So this is number 7, but it's actually the first one. So this is the first Amazing Adult Fantasy.
So that's before Spider-Man.
Before Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, that's 1961 right there. So, because those were bi-monthly, so
there's a great down at the bottom here. If I can see,
magazine that
says Stan Lee and Steve Ditko.
Yeah. Now you know why that's on there, right?
Why is it on there, Kyle?
Because on the front, on the first pages of those issues, that's where they'd put the names, and that cover was just pulled from the first page of the issue.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why Lee's not getting credit for the art, but that's how they did credits back there in the late 60s. And all that is they just took, if you open it up, the front page comic is that image.
Yeah.
Or either the front page or the splash page, depends on which one comes first, but that's where they put their names.
And making this even better is this is an extremely rare UK price variant.
Well, you know, I want that. So
this is very, very rare. I'll be surprised if this is not. If I got this graded, I'll be surprised if this isn't the only UK price variant.
Probably, and probably the highest grade of it too.
Yeah.
So, and that might be a tryout issue. I'm pretty sure 7's a tryout issue for something. And it might be that character on the cover might be, they might consider that a Hulk tryout, I think.
Oh, maybe. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, good point, Kyle.
But that is those were tryout issues. That's how they kept that afloat. They kept tryout ideas.
Same auction, and I've already got a copy of this. I bought this. I've had this from new virtually, but this came up, and it was nobody was bidding on it. There was no bids on it, and I thought I cannot let this go for this price. I have to bid on it. So it is a Howard the Duck number 1. £24 for a very fine plus Howard the Duck number 1. I just couldn't let it go at that price. You know, this is $100 book in a 9.0.
What it might be, yeah.
If it presses up and it gets, you know, if I can get it into the 9.4s, 9.6, then this is $200-300. For picking this up for £24 was just no brainer.
Yeah, definitely.
Old Mima talking about her Flash Gordon days when Flash Gordon big on TV in black and white in the early 50s.
Yeah, that's right.
There was some more recent comics of Flash Gordon as well, like on Dynamite or something like that. They had some Flash
Dynamite do them. Yeah.
Are they still doing them now?
They do them every so often.
Yeah, that's who's got the license to it now.
Yeah, they do them every so often. Whether they just do them to keep the license, I don't know.
Yeah.
It goes into public domain within 10 or 15 years, though.
Yeah, so they do a Flash Gordon every so often, probably just
but it officially goes into public domain. Oh, I want to say, no, they go in like in 26 because I thought Flash predated Mickey Mouse because in 2028 Mickey Mouse goes into public domain.
Okay.
So, and there's nothing they can do about it. It goes into public domain. They hit 100 years, they can't renew the copyright.
That's really weird, though. I mean, is that recent change to the rule or something, or what is?
Not very recent. No, they put that in like forever ago. Where
you think as long as the company's still using it, it would like.
They consider 100 years. They consider 100 years beyond the original creator's lifetime, so people can purchase it, but they have to put it into public domain. and 100 years is the ceiling before it
Yeah,
becomes.
you're right, Kyle. So Flash Gordon's going to go in public domain probably in the next 5 or 6 years. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and a lot of Golden Age characters they just let lapse, and if it lapses for more than 3 years, the public domain numbers change. So, like my buddy does a Crime Busters book. Well, you know, Scott Harris King.
Yeah.
Crime Busters. I mean, all those Granny Gumshoe and all that stuff went public domain years ago.
And Cthulhu and Uncle Sam.
Superman goes public domain in like 15 years, 16 years. So
yeah, 38. Yeah.
So yeah.
Wait, we're around to see it, see what happens, see what happens.
Yeah, and they don't know what they're going to do about it. But I mean, you can't really lay claims to something that becomes folklore.
No, but they'll still probably carry on making new stuff with them. But other people have got the ability to do it as well.
Other people would have free reign to do whatever they want with it. So
yeah, wonder if like
Tarzan went public domain. Like in 2015, a lot of people don't realize that, but Tarzan.
Conan will be public domain soon as well, won't he? Conan
has to be public domain by now.
I'm wondering if like Marvel will start doing Superman comics.
They could. They literally could. In 2038, they can start doing Superman comics.
They probably won't be able to use like Jimmy Olsen for a few more years because he didn't come around until a little bit later, did he? Perry White. I'm not sure when Perry White came around. Didn't Jimmy Olsen originate in the radio show? I think that's what, like in the 50s or something.
Jimmy Olsen? I thought Jimmy Olsen was on pretty early. I know Perry White was. Perry White was on in the first issue of Action.
I thought there was some major character who didn't appear till the radio show. I was thinking
Lana Lang, or one of his love interests, but the rest of them have been there since early on. So I don't know. You got to tickle the brain a little bit, but
well, Google is my friend. I shall go and find out.
I also picked up these detective comics here. This was a single lot. It was cost me £90 for 3 comics. But when you see these, I think you'll agree they're worth it. They're in great condition, and they all star. They've all got Batgirl on the cover.
Okay, cool.
So here we go. First one.
And the price went down after they janked the show.
I don't think that makes any difference to these comics, Kyle. These comics are just worth what they're worth because they're great comics.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's around my birthday book with them go-go checks. Is that like? Yeah,
this is 66, of course.
What month is that?
This is May.
Oh, no, too early for me there.
Well, hang on a minute.
But what else came? Who else first appeared in May in 1966?
Wasn't you?
Wasn't me.
It's my brother.
It was
my brother Grant. 23rd.
One of my favorite
Poison Ivy
characters who I traded several comics for you from.
Poison Ivy.
May of 1966, the Surfer appeared, and
of course, yeah.
August and September, Black Panther first appeared, and then in November, I first appeared.
All right.
Well, in that case, Kyle, I have got your birthday comic here.
There you go.
Yeah, I think this is November. I presume it's 66.
If it's a later issue, yeah, then it's November of 66.
Yeah,
because they pulled the go-go check. Excuse me, they pulled the go-go checks right then.
Yeah, and there we go. We've got Batgirl and Batman using Robin as a Christmas cracker.
Making a wish.
Brilliant cover. But the best cover of the 3, and I think you'll probably have seen images of this one before. It's just a brilliant cover. And I've seen this before. I've not seen one in this condition, and it is the one where Batgirl gets a run in her tights.
Yeah,
that's a classic.
She has to stop fighting because she got a run in her tights.
Yeah. Help me, we've got a problem over here, Batgirl. No, I've got a bigger problem. I've got a run in my tights.
It's so crazy how they used to like deal with the female characters. And like I do a Patreon video for my Patreon supporters every month, and I did an article from this comic, the Daredevils, the UK comic. And Alan Moore did an article about sexism in comics.
Yeah,
I sort of read it out for my Patreon supporters, and he shows that comic with the running the tights he's shown. And like he was talking about how Arrowhead and Batgirl used to have things like powder puff or they're blind villains with their mirrors, their makeup mirrors, and that kind of thing. Yeah, or they use their powder puffs to blind them, sort of thing. It's daft. Let's have a look. Right, so looking at what Jimmy Olsen. An unnamed office boy with a bow tie appeared in the story Superman's Phony Manager, published in Action Comics number 6, November 1938. It was retroactively considered to be Jimmy Olsen's first appearance. The character was first introduced as Jimmy Olsen by producer Bob Maxwell on the Adventures of Superman radio show on April the 15th, 1940. So yeah, it was the radio. Jimmy Olsen first appeared on a radio show. So there we go.
What date was that, Gray?
1950. Hold on. Where was it?
1940, wasn't it? The radio show.
Yes, so 1940, yeah. The character was first introduced as Jimmy Olsen by producer Bob Maxwell on the Adventures of Superman radio show on April 15th, 1940.
Oh, it was quite early then.
After 8 early unnamed appearances in comics, Olsen first appeared as a named character in a story by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster titled Superman vs. the Archer in Superman number 13, November-December 1941. There you go.
Great stuff.
Now you know.
So Olsen, he's not going to be public domain until after.
Yeah. Be a while yet before they start clamoring to make up their own copies of his adventures. Matilda will still be around. She'll be able to. She
doesn't like Olsen though, does she?
She loves him. She's perfecting her artwork so she can start bringing them out in 2040. Matilda's Adventures of Jimmy Olsen.
There you go.
Olsen in Matilda's boudoir. That would be stuff like that. That would be the story she'll be making.
I think not.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking, well, if I take a breather and stop thinking about it for a minute, this won't make me cry. But
you're not going to cry again, mate. Oh.
I might cry today.
No, don't do that.
I might cry today.
When British can't deal with it.
You have to deal with it. You have to deal with it.
Well, in show number 8, I think you've cried on 5 out of 8 or so.
Whatever. Earlier today, I knew it was getting to be that time of year. Like I said, I just kind of vapor locked the day. But 7 years ago today, my big brother died.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And he's why I'm in this room.
Because of the comic books.
Yep.
Yeah.
So was he another cancer victim, Carl? I think you said he.
No.
No. What was the problem?
He had something, but nah, he just gave up. So yeah, there. Blow this one up real quick.
Yeah.
This is when I got my comic collection addiction. That is actually when. Winter of 1979. He was a senior in high school. I was at.
He's the big one, is he?
He's a big fella right there, and that's me right there.
Wow.
And he said, I'm too big for comic books. You
so
take
you're 13 in that one, are you? About 13?
Yeah, I'm 13 right there.
Yeah.
Is that your mum?
Yeah, that's my mom, and that's my brother Brent, who's having some health issues now. But I'm pretty sure this is like my 13th birthday.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's my 13th birthday. So, but yeah, I mean, here's a couple years later, us fishing at the lake.
Yeah.
Daisy Duke shorts and stuff coming out there. But again, around the same timeline. Me and my brothers just goofing off.
I remember as a kid chipping my tooth trying to get out of a car like General Lee. Out through the window. I had to chip my tooth on the side of the car.
Right. So, Carl, are you the one in the middle?
Huh?
Are you the one in the middle?
No, I'm the youngster.
Oh, you're up there.
I'm Spanky up there. This is like 1967, 60.
It looks like you did have one of them propellers on the top, that hat.
Yep. I had that little.
No, that can't be 67. You just told me you were born in November 66.
Or 68. Yeah, this is like 68. I'm standing up. Maybe 68, 69. I know this. I know the date of this one real well because I came home on leave right before I shipped overseas. In 1988. That's us in 1988. And then the most recent one I pulled out, which again, sitting with my mom. It's kind of gross here, you know. My mom looks younger than all of us.
Yes, she does.
So, you know. But that's just us hanging out a couple Christmases ago, like 10, 15 years ago, maybe. Just popping over to say, hey.
You're the short ass of the family.
I'm the baby. I'm the one that's done the most, but I'm the baby. But he's why I'm here.
Yeah, because he gave you his comics.
He's why I'm in this room. He's why I do all this. And, you know, I was going to do different types of things. Like, I'm going to do a character studies on, well, I'm going to keep telling this story while I'm walking downstairs because I'm going to nip this in the bud and
so who's your
character? I'm going to smoke. I'll get to my character studies in a minute about genuine friendship and helping learn genuine friendship from comic books. And I'm going to use X-Men Annual 4 as a template there when I talk about it. But I do have to gather myself again because
I'm guessing it's not Wolverine and Cyclops.
No, it's. I mean, I'm gonna highlight like Wolverine and Nightcrawler's relationship, you know, Wonder Man and Beast relationships, and learning things from that. But while I was digging that stuff out today, because I already had my mindset on it, I was also thinking of sacrifice, and I thought, well, shit, you know. I'm going to be doing, pulling out FF51 and do a thing on This Man, This Monster on classic learning sacrifice, learning to give of yourself before of others. But, sorry, I need to calm my nerves down because, I damn near started crying there.
That's the thing with loss. You think, like years later, you think it's going to bloody well not affect you, then it just hits you like out of the blue, doesn't it?
Well, that's the way it hit me. I was running messages with you and not even thinking about the date today. I opened up Facebook.
I did that in October, like the 9th anniversary of my mum dying, and it wasn't until I looked at the thing, I was like, oh, it's 9 years now. But I've got the stupidest trigger that makes me cry, like to do right. Mum, I always used to love Marmite as a kid. My mum would always make sure we got Marmite in the house, right? I don't want me toast or whatever. And like when she died, the jar, I can't even say it now. You do your story.
Okay. But I mean, we all get it.
Yeah, it just gets me every time.
I'm a big old macho guy, but there are some things that just twist me like a wrench. I love telling the story of how I passed on all them comics to my grandnephew.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm telling that story, it's great. When I talk about the pay it back and pay it forward and tell the backstory, I just get this big old lump in my throat because my brother didn't see that.
Yeah.
It's one of the things where, fuck, I wish he could have seen that. You know, he would have really enjoyed that. And it's a shame he didn't get to see it. And that's what I miss. It's what we didn't get to do, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, to say thank you again, because holy shit, I have an amazing library. And I'd love to have him hear the world tell me this. I mean, I hear it 10 times a week.
See what you started.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
What you led to. Yeah.
And I wouldn't have that museum without that. Now, I could have gone on to collecting other things. I had knick-knack stuff. You know, I read comics before then. You know, I had my mom pick up Werewolf by Night #1 off the shelves when I was like 6 because I thought that was a great cover. Unstoppable. There we go. But yeah, I think about these things, and I don't write any of this shit down. I'm a writer, but I don't write any of this shit down. When I have these ideas, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna tell it raw. I don't want a script for what I'm gonna tell about how this affected me, because I'm gonna pluck all these stories out of me raw and just make them genuine. You know, because I'm too wooden when I read. I'm animated when I feel it coming out of me. You know, and like one of the reasons I love X-Men Annual #4 so much, and it's probably my favorite X-Men book, and it's part of why I'm going to highlight it, but it was one of those original 97 books he gave me. It came out right then. Like it was out when I got this, or no, it wasn't one of the original 97 because I got them in 79. That's the 80 book. So I ended up buying that one. So it was another X-Men I was thinking of there. But that's one of my earliest original comics from back then. The same copy I don't have all these decades later, but I got a nice, fine copy up there. But it really goes into sacrifice. You know, God loves man kills is amazing. From Marvel.
Is that the annual #4 you're talking about?
No, God Loves Man Kills is Marvel graphic novel 5.
Okay.
That's Brent Anderson and Claremont, and it's it's a graphic novel that goes over it. But like I use, the X-Men, everything about the X-Men is a teaching lesson to kids of that time anyway, from the mid 60s or early 60s when it started. From 63 on, it was inclusion. Stan said it a million times. If he could have made him black, he would have made him black, because that's the whole concept of the acceptance.
I was thinking about it, like that. The activism, the rights campaign was going on fully then, wasn't it? It was like back in them days when they first were created. There was, all the activism was going on, wasn't it? It was like
the civil rights laws didn't pass till 1964.
Yes.
By the time civil rights laws passed, Daredevil was already a thing. Like the last of the big ones had already been around. Daredevil was made by the time those bills passed. So, but the X-Men's just a look at inclusion. It's how do you include everybody? Women are supposed to be equal, even if they had them goofy back then. They eventually made it. So within 12 years of the X-Men coming out, the strongest one of them was the woman. 75 or 75, early 76 when Phoenix got her powers.
Yeah.
She was the first Omega level X-Man, outside of Professor X and his psych thing. But I mean, she was just a beast. So the most powerful one turned out to be the woman, and there's the acceptance of that, and we're just kids back then figuring it out. But there's a level of friendship in there, and it was a simple take on Dante's Inferno when Nightcrawler goes to hell and Doctor Strange is picking out some weird things about it, that it just doesn't seem right. They can't really be in hell.
I've never read that story, so
it's utterly brilliant. But he gets kidnapped to another dimension, basically hell. Nightcrawler kidnapped basically to hell. And his friends go after him, no questions asked. They're like, just no questions asked. Whatever. We're going to hell to get him. And to an impressionable young mind, hey, I can go up against a big robot. I can do this. I can do that. Well, to an impressionable young mind, hell is real. So there's realism in the story that, would I go to hell for my friends? Well, when I was 13, the answer was flat out no. I had my best friends. I had good friends, but no, I wouldn't go to hell for them. I had to learn that. There are a few people I would tread the gates of hell for, using that analogy, like my big brother being one of them. But you have to learn this over time. And I'm sitting there watching where these strange characters would tread the depths of hell to get their friends back, to get their friend back. And if one of them got caught up in something like Storm, Wolverine didn't flinch. He went and dove right in to get Storm back. Just dove right in. Just, to hell with it. They can rip me to shreds, whatever. I'm getting her back. And I learned about friendship and sacrifice. And again, it's one of them things where I could apply it years and years later. You know, well, sure, I wouldn't catch a bullet in my teeth for a lot of the guys I served with, but I would have caught a bullet in the shoulder for them. You know what I mean? And you got levels of that. And I didn't really start understanding that until around that time. You know, like my brothers would pick on me mercilessly. But if another kid at school picked on me, my brother punched him in the face before I had a chance to reel. If my brothers were around, or if we were in the neighborhood, like if a kid pushed me down and my big brother saw it, he would just kick the shit out of everybody in sight. He'd have no part of that. But then he'd torture me, you know. But he wouldn't stand for anybody picking on me.
Oh yeah.
You know, it killed me, like that picture when I was on leave that one time. When I came home on leave before the Gulf War. Shoulder is pretty much the best place to take a bullet. So I knew what I was talking about there. But like when I came home on leave,
I'd rather take a bullet in somebody else's shoulder.
Yeah. When I came home on leave before the Gulf War, I did the family visits and stuff like that. My mom set up a little picnic before I flew out, so everybody could say bye to me. You know, I'm going off to war, You know, think I'm marching home, bullshit. And I'm handling it just like it's nothing, because to me it's nothing. It's my job. It's no big deal. I'll go over, I'll get shot at, I'll come back. You know, I had the feeling of invincibility because you had to. You had to have a switch in your head. Yeah, no shit. There you go. There's my mom.
They toughened you up. They got you prepared. You had hell camp before you got there.
But I ended up being the tough guy. Of all of us, I ended up being the tough guy. And my brother was more passive about things. But at this picnic, he pulls me aside and he gets all choked up. And he's like, dude, don't go. I don't want you to go get hurt. He's like, we'll ship you off to Canada. You can go do that. You can go do whatever. And he's trying to throw his arms around me and protect me. And I'm like, dude, seriously, come on, big guy. I got it. I'm good. He was terrified for me. I wasn't scared at all. I didn't give a shit. I was like, you know, whatever.
You were young. You were invincible. The young are always
literally felt invincible. And I still have that defect. I still, even though I'm broken down and fallen into pieces, I still have that defect of invincibility. But bringing it back to the comic book, which again, it's his fault I had the comic books. I'm learning through those, you know, once more into the breach. You know, I learned Shakespeare and things like that through comic books.
Yeah,
love of comic books. I learned to go that one step further. I don't want to Google anything. I want to pick up the big old book. I want to flip through it. I want to study it.
Well, you know, if you look at Stan Lee's language, it's very Shakespeare.
Yeah, exactly. So many words were learned by comic book readers that no one else of their age knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very. I mean, Stan Lee was quite well read, and his language was very flowery and very Shakespearean.
And like I told JM, and they draw on these original classic stories.
Yeah.
And they reference them. Well, I'd go find the book. I'd find Dante's Inferno. Now I want to own the oldest possible.
Yeah, I mean, JM is very, very well read. You can see that in his writing. I mean, if you look at his bookshelf, he's quoting the classics all the time. So yeah.
And I always wanted to tell Claremont, you know, dude, thanks, man. Thanks for putting that bug in my ear. And I got to say thank you to Claremont online and talk to him a little bit online. And again, that was good enough for me. You know, could I get Claremont on here? Yeah, it'd be pretty damn easy. Claremont's like Kevin Eastman. He'll go on anything.
How old is Claremont now?
God, he's a biscuit older than us. Like about Jam's age, mid 60s, a little bit more maybe.
I might ask him if he wrote Sovereign 7 in a weekend or on the back of a Rizzler packet. That was terrible.
But yeah, like with X-Men 4, I was reading Dante's Inferno, except instead of Dante just being by himself and having his trials and tribulations, he had those friends that would tear down the gates of hell to get him out. And he understood it in the end that they were willing to do that. And I carried that on, you know, where a few times outside of my immediate life, my immediate family and things like that, I'd step out of that and be like, yeah, I would rush into traffic and wouldn't hesitate. I would run in front of a hail of bullets. Obviously, for everyone, there's a stocking up on the wall here. Not their significant others, but for all the kids and the grandkids, I'd run into traffic for.
Not be limits.
So, but I helped understand them limits, and part of what taught me that was, again, corny comic books with shiny superheroes and chicks that shot lightning bolts out of their ass.
I know you take a bullet in the ass for me, Carl. I know that.
I'd rather not discuss this any further.
I'd take a bullet and a big toe for you.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I can accept that.
I don't know. I ain't going to show my bullet hole scars and my bad plastic surgery that covers it up, but
you got bullet holes?
I got a bullet hole. I said hole.
Okay. Oh, no, don't. Gray, stop. Because what's going to happen in a minute is he's going to take his shirt off and show us.
Oh, no, I'd have to drop trowel for that one. It's on my right hip.
Oh, God.
The bad plastic surgery is on my right hip.
Did that happen when you was on duty, on tour, was it?
Nope.
You wasn't practicing your gunslinging and your shot yourself in the ass.
He was bouncing in some bar somewhere and somebody shot him.
Nope. There's another horrible story to it, but I'm not about to tell it. No, my Marine scars are like where they sewed my finger back on and stuff. But
oh yeah.
No, my bullet hole is something altogether stupid. Even how
my favorite going down into Hades to save a soul story is Orpheus.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. And he turned around too soon.
Yeah, Orpheus into the underworld. So his beloved, when they're about to get married, Orpheus and Eurydice, they're getting married. She is the love of his life. And they get married, and just after the marriage, she gets bitten by a snake and dies.
Yeah.
So, he is a brilliant, I think is it the flute? The lute he plays? So the lute. He's a lute. And
liar. Might be a
liar.
Yeah.
And so he says, I'm going down into, because Orpheus, and now Neil Gaiman does this story. So
yeah,
seek it out. It's a
special, isn't it? It's a one-off special called
one-off special. Go and seek it out. It is brilliant. And it retells.
Doesn't it get torn apart by the Furies at the end?
Yeah, and he goes down. So Orpheus goes down into hell to retrieve Eurydice, and he meets Satan, and he plays him a tune on his lute.
Well, I mean Pluto, isn't it? Or Hades rather than Satan.
Hades, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Satan.
Hades,
no.
You're right.
You're mixing your mythologies, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he plays him a tune, and he says, "Okay, well, you can take Eurydice, but whatever you do, don't look back until you have left at the gates of hell, or both of you have left the gates of hell." So they depart, and as he's leaving, he's just He's left the gates of hell. Eurydice is just behind him. He turns round and looks, and she turns into a pillar of salt.
Yeah.
That's
as well, because that's like echoes of Lot's wife, isn't it?
Yeah, it is echoes of Lot's wife. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And that's a nice little glow in the dark cover on that one too.
It is, and it hugely.
Does anyone know what this is about? He's saying that Jester Dante's Inferno, I think, is not even hell could stop the power of love. I don't remember there being any love element in Dante's Inferno. I've not read the book, but I did a podcast, on my heavy metal podcast, all based on Dante's Inferno, and I basically went through every single ring of hell and played a band for each ring, said what each element was about. One level's for like lawyers and stuff like that, and for liars and for murderers and for. So, but I don't remember there being any love story attached to it. You have to let us know what you mean there, Norrin.
Well, and speaking of Norrin Rad, not him, but the actual Norrin Rad, I was also going to dig out the What If comic. I just kind of left it back. But there's a brilliant What If issue that tells about, because in Silver Surfer 3, Mephisto gets his mitts on Shalabal's soul. And it's what if Silver Surfer sacrificed himself to get her out, and he did. And then Mephisto couldn't contain his light. So, story there too that kind of plays on all those. But it is trying to explain to people that comic books are modern day mythology or new twist on old stories or things like that. You got people in tights, but it's thousands of year old passed down stories and things and the levels you go to do things. But that's my long-winded way of saying, and I'll show the comic when I go back up there. Now that
what's that thing? Is that thing to do with like the heroes? Like there's only like 7 stories or something, and 7 variations on the story theme, the heroic theme or something. I can't remember the actual quote is, but
man versus man, man versus self, man versus woman, man versus nature, all that stuff, and then. It's just all variations on the same thing. And it's all the same thing, just twisting around. You just got to get creative with how those Man, I can't believe other people haven't jumped in here today.
I always wanted to I'd like to have done a story with the Demon and Blue Beetle Ted Cord. I'd like to. I was thinking one time for some contest or other, but I always thought it'd be a great story, because obviously Ted Cord was dead at that point. And the demon sort of finds him in hell, and Ted Cord goes. There's somebody who's taken over, become a new lord of hell, and Ted's going there to. He comes out from heaven actually. No, he's up in heaven, and he comes out from heaven to go to hell to sort out this new lord of hell. And when he finally gets to him after sort of teaming up with the demon, he finally gets to him. It's actually Max Lord who killed him, and he ends up by punching him, they're doing the one punch on him, and so I told you to rot in hell, Max, not rule in hell. And that kicks him into the deepest pit.
I think James Gunn is going to make use of Demon. I think he's a great character. It's not really been used that much. And I think James Gunn is going to make use of Demon. Definitely.
Yeah, be interesting. That'd be cool. Hey, Alex. All right, mate. If you want to come into the chat, I'll send you the link if you're free. Well, Norrin, if you want to come in again, got anything new you want to show us?
It's kind of Johnny. You ought to see Johnny's Bob Kane collection. He's got a rather jaw-dropping Bob Kane collection.
Is that your Montreal, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to come on again, it'd be great. Hopefully we get Attention Seeking Geek sometime to show off his statues. That'd be cool.
And then I could go off on a tangent and talk about a music video shoot I'm doing Friday. But
what are you going to be doing in it?
Are you doing the sort of sexy dancing bit?
Yeah, that's why he was taking his shirt off earlier on.
I'm going to try and hide in a corner during this. But no, a kid I used to manage many, many years ago, and he's been like family to me for over 20 years now. Most talented musician I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he's so good on guitar, he puts Eddie Van Halen to shame. I say that unequivocally. And he's an even better piano player. But he's in this all-star jam band with members of Collective Soul, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and other noted musicians. And it's kind of a side project for them where they're just a screw-around jam band where they're covering like 80s things, like just for fun, like Wang Chung, everybody Wang Chung tonight, and silly shit like that, just to do it.
Oh, yeah.
They're having a big video shoot party next Friday, and I've been invited to the warehouse to hang out and be in the video. So that's my thing coming up. That yet again, I've been asked by Captain. Captain wants me to come on a show and do an interview and do 3 segments and talk about comic books, my life in the rock and roll world, and then all this other silly shit I talk about doing. Because I pop up on these shows and tell my stories of dumb shit I did in the Marines. Or
we got somebody advertising pornography again. Great.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why we attract these.
Yeah, I know, because earlier I need to be interested in watching porn.
Who'd they follow? Alex brought him in.
The porn money, you know what I mean?
It was when Kyle talked about doing his.
Getting his shirt off. That triggered the algorithm. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to find a video at the moment. I was at a band called Stuka Squadron. They did a video a couple of years back, and I'm kind of in the video. I'll see if I can find the clip. I might show the clip. Their conceit is that they're a bunch of World War II Nazi vampires. That's the sort of
yeah. So that's their thing.
Yeah, that's their kind of like the little what do you call it?
Niche
gimmick, yeah. And there's some video called Pit of Fire, and I was in the crowd doing the singing, and at one point they get some blood and put it on my face, and I will see if I can find that bit. I might show it if I can find the bloody clip. It wasn't on for very long. Oh dear. So yeah, that's the only video I've done. Got a video of my band up on my YouTube channel as well, me playing live on my birthday gigs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I have to seek that out. What do you, when you say playing live? Are you on the?
I'm the singer, if you can call it that.
No,
I'll make.
Your voice is pretty good. I can see you singing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that style. It's death metal, so it's like literally, if you can understand any of the words, I was doing it wrong. That's basically it. Although I was actually saying words, but you wouldn't know it from listening to it.
Excuse me. I can tell you a funny one about the Motley Crue song "Wild Side."
Okay.
They shot the video for that in Indianapolis because they had a layover day, and they got fans in early, and they let in about 1,000 people, mostly picked out the pretty girls and stuff, and said, hey, you're going to be up in front of the stage, and we're going to shoot this video for Wild Side. And my cousin Shannon, she got long flowing 80s red hair, really well endowed, so they wanted her up close. So they do a close-up on her in the video in one of the spots, but she's all over, and like when they show the crowd scene, and they do a close-up on her. And at the end of the video shoot, they gather up a row of the girls that are up front, and they take them out to the tour bus, and they're bringing them on to do their thing. And she's sitting there talking to Vince Neil and Tommy Lee. And they said, girl, you look good. You look young now. She says, well, I'm 16. Didn't finish the sentence before they shoved her off the bus. They shoved me off the bus. She's like, I should have said I was 18, but she said I was 16. And they said, nope.
Yeah, get out of here before we get in trouble.
Off the bus with you. It was like, you're a little cutie. And they're like, yeah.
I thought in various states in the US, 12 was the acceptable age.
Yeah, well, Indiana ain't one of them. So thank God.
Oh, yeah, of course, I forgot about that. It's not like alcohol, which is, 21. It's like different ages, different places, isn't it? different levels of relationship as well, cousins.
Yeah. But yeah. So, like, one of the reasons I love Wonder Man so much is his relationship with the Beast and their friendship they developed over the years.
They're buddies.
And then one of my favorite relationships too is Wolverine and Nightcrawler. You know, it's Bring the Beers Elf. You know, I just love the relationship those two had. But yeah, this book, Summer of 1980. I mean, just my most formidable time. You know, and I'm really diving into this. And it doesn't hurt because this thing has such... Oh, yeah, I thought this was Brent Anderson, but no, it's Romita Jr. back when he was actually tolerable.
Nightcrawler's Inferno.
Nightcrawler's Inferno. But yeah, I mean, he gets sucked away.
Oop.
He finds this nice gift, and all of a sudden, poof, he gets sucked
Poof.
away.
Poof.
Poof. Onomatopoeia there. And then they don't know what to do when Doctor Strange shows up.
I nearly played him a dirty old man for saying sucked away then, but I thought better of it.
Yeah. But
he was sucked away by a poof, Gray.
Yeah, exactly.
Sucked away by a poof. 4 poofs and 4 poofs and 2 pianos. But Strange tries to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, Doctor Strange looks quite a mean ass there, doesn't he? He looks a bit.
And then they get sucked into what appears to be hell. And then I'm gonna jump.
Is it hell? It's not Velasco again, is it? The one who took magic back in the day?
No. This is pre-Belasco anyway. But they come to the gates of hell, and there's a straight quote right out of Dante's right there. Abandon all.
Yeah.
Hope all ye.
They used to have that outside the London dungeon in the UK. The London dungeon. Yeah. They had a sign on it. Abandon hope all ye who enter here. And I refused to go in. I wouldn't go in. We went there as a kid. And I was like, no, I'm not going in. I'm not going in. I refused to go in.
They find him, and then they have to traverse hell to
what a baby
get him out of there. One of the classics here. See which. Let me get to the Storm one. Yeah, these harpies get Storm, and this guy says, you know, there's nothing you can do with it. Wolverine gives him the, you know, I'm gonna shish kebab you if you don't like point us in the right direction. They fight a Cerebus and stuff like that. Yeah. Then Colossus breaks through the wall. And they're like, how can this be possible? Because all these demons are scared to death of him because there's only, as Doctor Strange realizes, there's only one that can smash those gates. And that's why they're so terrified, because they think Colossus is God. So
looking at YouTube, 23 minutes ago, Mark Oldroyd uploaded unboxing another auction win, some stunning comics. So Mark is actually competing with a stream that he's already in. Well
and the same comics.
Yeah, exactly. That was good timing.
This is a different demographic, Gray. This is the Gray demographic.
Exactly, the 6 people who watch my channel.
So I'm trying to reach out to the 6 people who watch your channel, and also the huge Kyle fan base.
That's true. Kyle spreads himself too thin. He goes to too many channels.
My mom and so many things.
Kyle's mom and E69XXXX Life.
That's him. Yeah, they will come for his nakedness that he keeps showing in the screen.
But yeah,
so talking about the underworld, my Charles Adams book here, there's a cartoon. I don't know, it's really dark, it's black and white, but there's a picture here of this is obviously the guy who does the sort of journey across the sticks.
Sharon.
Carol.
I know that Sharon.
There's a couple of guys renting boats, and they're saying, "Say, Donovan, do we have one with muffled oars?"
Okay. Right.
It's just, and you know, I just love this Charles Adams. And the first one here, we've got Morticia Adams going round to a neighbour's house and saying, "Can I borrow a cup of cyanide?" Yeah.
That was the old thing when it was a penny on the eye socket, so in the mouth, wasn't it, for to pay the ferryman when you got to.
That's right. Yeah, you put. That's right. You put the pennies on the eyes.
I've heard different, either in the eyes or in the mouth. I've heard different stories.
In the eyes. I thought you put.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard that one resting on the eye, but I'm sure I remember one like putting it in the mouth at one point as well.
That's where the phrase "pay the ferryman" comes from.
Yeah.
The money in the mouth is Egyptian folklore.
Oh, okay.
And this one of my favourite Charles Adams cartoons of all time. This is the one with the.
Your chair sounds like you're farting, mate, every time you lean forward. I thought Carl was cracking one off when he went off to get his comic books.
Guy skiing. I mean, it's so simple but so great.
Oh, he's ghosted through the. Oh yeah, the old ski on each side. I've seen that before. I don't know if it was that actual comic or just a similar joke from someone else.
That's the original. That's the Charles. I mean, it's so simple but so great. You go, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
Kitty. All right.
Some 2080s one day, maybe. Think about that. We need to get them sorted. I've got to get bags and balls for them so they're all nice and neat in the blinking box. Now I've got a load of like coverless ones or loose cover. I need to get rid of them and then sort of work out what ones I've got missing and maybe slowly start to pick a few up. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Don't know how long I'm going to live yet. I might live forever and I'll have loads of time to collect all the comics I need.
Yeah, don't live forever, mate. That's not a good idea.
Get boring, you reckon? Gets boring after a while.
Get a bit boring.
Forever.
Couple of 100 years then. That'll be long enough for me to get all the comics.
Lisa will no longer be able to support you.
That's true. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be around when she's not here. That's a good point. Oh well. So, don't you Christmas shopping yet?
No, I haven't done any.
No, me either. Apart from the comics I picked up at the Mart on Sunday, I've wrapped them up and told Lisa that that's their present to me. So I didn't even get a chance to show them today because they're already wrapped.
You've got to buy your own present and wrap it up.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd save her a job. I thought if I wrap it up, I wrapped it up because I knew if I didn't, I'd put them in my box and spend another 50 quid on comics for Christmas instead. So I thought if I get them wrapped up, then they're definitely put aside for as a Christmas present then, and I won't be tempted to spend another 50 quid. So, such is life.
No, we've done the kids' presents, but the kids' presents are so they're in the 20s, so they just want practical things,
Yeah.
Get a son wants a new bed and mattress, and
Right. They all left the nest now, ain't
they? No, son is at home.
Right.
Daughters have left the nest, so one daughter wanted a new mobile phone, and
right.
So it's.
They live close to you, or they've gone like far?
Yeah, no, quite close. Yep, son is at home. Daughters are in Cambridge, so they're just up the road. In fact, they're both coming down on Sunday. So yeah, we see them reasonable amount. Yeah.
Are they living in Cambridge, or are they learning there up there? They're all.
My daughters are extremely bright. They got something like 26 O-level GCSEs, and then
26. How did you get 26?
Don't ask. And then they got something like 12 A levels, A star. I mean, they were just They were they were in the national newspapers and everything.
Are they twins, your daughters, or
they're twins? Yeah. And they one went to Oxford, one went to.
It wasn't one of them midwich cuckoo kind of deals where
I think it must have been. I think the midwich cuckoos definitely.
Yeah, and all the women woke up pregnant. Like.
And then one went to Imperial College London, one went to Oxford, and now they are both got firsts. And now they are both in their second year doing PhDs at Cambridge University.
Right, so they're both doing university then. Right. Yeah, they haven't got white hair, have they, by any chance? Because that's
they do have white hair. So one is doing research into. So if you've got, there's a number of mental illnesses you can have, whereby, including epilepsy and Parkinson's. Where you can put probes into the brain.
Okay, neurological.
And stimulate the brain to prevent the epilepsy or Parkinson's developing. There's a number of other things as well. But the problem they've got is that this is quite new technology, and the electrodes that they put in the brain, they sort of corrode. And every
you don't want rusty electrodes in your brain, do you? That's got to be
rusty electrodes. So every 18 months, 24 months, you've got to go in and change them, and it's not a good idea to go in and mess around in the brain.
No.
So daughter one is working on how to improve the coatings and the materials used in the electrodes, so they don't need to be changed as frequently. And she's working with a professor and also Johnson Matthey, who are the people who do the sort of metals.
Right.
And she's managed to treble the life of the electrodes.
Okay.
That's
proper science fiction sounding stuff, that is.
She's pretty, and she's had a paper published. She's getting a paper published in one of these proper scientific journals. Yeah. So,
okay.
And daughter two.
Separate note, there was some news article, I didn't quite hear it, but I just saw on the screen, apparently there's new treatments for Alzheimer's at the moment. They just discovered or just brought out, apparently.
Yeah.
See the art. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What's the other daughter doing?
The other daughter is, they've been extremely competitive throughout their lives, So when they were at primary school, they go into a maths test.
Yeah.
One would get 25 out of 25 and the other would get 24 out of 25.
Yeah.
Nobody else in the class had got more than 20, but they come home and one of them was in tears because she was one point. So they're very, very competitive, which has driven them. So they both ended up at Cambridge University. They're both doing the same sort of thing. So the other one is doing research into probes into the stomach.
Okay.
So yeah.
Your daughters like probes, that's all I can say.
They like probes, yeah. Probes.
Is it because when it's going to come out, you're a reptilian alien and you're the one that was into anal probes?
Okay. Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, I'll tell my daughters that.
Oh, you have to get them on someday to tell us all about their science.
Yeah. So they have come on. I will get them on. I'm planning to do a Christmas quiz.
Okay.
Comic quiz. They do quite like the comics.
Yeah.
They're not completely ignorant about comics.
No.
You bought me some SpongeBob comics and things.
Yeah. They want to get probes that give you superpowers. Probes that go.
Right. There is a couple of
download all the information you need so you can do
probing. I will plan to do a Christmas video with my daughters and maybe my wife. Alan and I would like to do a video where we do wife versus wife. On comic knowledge, because both of our wives know nothing about comics.
Awesome. I did a thing
into that.
I did a thing online during lockdown. I did a thing online with Lisa. She was in her kitchen and I was in my bedroom, and I was showing her pictures of superheroes, and she had to name the superhero, and that was quite funny because my girlfriend swears like a trooper, and literally every other word was F and C out of her mouth. It's quite funny though. Like it's we both would laughing our asses off. But,
my wife has absolutely no idea. And apparently Alan's wife has no idea either, so it could be quite funny.
My wife knows a lot about Loki, but Loki and Hawkeye, but it ends there.
Right. From the
TV show. Why do you know about Loki and Hawkeye?
Because she crushes on Loki and Hawkeye.
Okay.
Well, so you watch the TV shows, yeah?
Yeah, stuff like that. But Mark, what did your wife and kids think of you getting to talk to one of the SpongeBob artists and stuff?
I don't know if they've seen the video. I will ask the girls because the girls are responsible for me.
Did you mention that you spoke when they started? Like, you started. Now I'm talking online to the people who wrote
that. They're back home this weekend. I haven't seen them since we did that. So yeah, I will mention that. And also, I am going to have my complete collection of SpongeBob 1 to 85.
Right.
When it's in the same delivery, Kal-El, your stuff.
Yeah.
The last SpongeBob were in the same delivery. So when that arrives, not only will I get your stuff, but I'll get the final SpongeBob comics to complete my.
When did you get the first one? Was it your birthday this year or Christmas this year? Last year?
No. So I bought the first SpongeBob #1. 2 years ago, about 18 months, 2 years. When I first got back in car, it was one of the ones I bought. I thought it was a good investment.
Right.
And I put a video up about it. And my daughters thought it was really funny. Here's this, 60-year-old guy, and he's bought a SpongeBob comic. He's taking the piss out of me, doing sort of. And anyway, so Christmas that year, they bought me SpongeBob 2, SpongeBob 3, SpongeBob 4, and I think SpongeBob 6.
Right.
And I said to them, "You do realise now I can live with having one comic, but I can't live with having 7 of them. I've got, so for instance, I haven't got SpongeBob 5. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, but I haven't got SpongeBob.
That's a gap. You can't have a gap.
Well, I can't allow that." And then I looked at it and I saw there were 85 of them, and I thought, "Oh, that's collectible." That's not.
They turned out to be a lot more expensive than you thought, though, didn't they, as well?
Oh, they're really expensive. But I did have a big break because I went to my local comic shop, Base, and I went in there and I said to him, "Have you got?" And no, I didn't actually ask him. I went up there and I was looking for SpongeBob and Gru. And I went to the SpongeBob, and they had somebody. So they got loads of SpongeBob. So I picked them all up. There was about 40 or 50 of them, and they were about £1.50, £2 each. Picked them all up, took them down to the counter, and I said to the guy, "Wow, you've got all these SpongeBobs." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Last week this guy came in with a complete collection of SpongeBob and asked us to
buy one shot, couldn't you?"
And I said, "I'm not the first person to have been and got these." He said, "No, there was another guy who was here a couple of days ago. So he picked up one." But anyway, there were still 40 of them. And there were £1.50, £2 each, which it was a deal. Although I spent about 80, 90 quid with him on those, they were a fantastic bargain because you go and look on eBay, type SpongeBob comics in.
eBay's the worst place to get things, though, isn't it?
They're £7 or £8 each.
Yeah.
£10.
Because everyone on eBay is looking to get some money for the comic, isn't they? That's why I prefer to use Facebook groups.
But they're not available. If there's loads of them, they're they're 99 pence. There isn't loads of them. They're just rare because the print run was so low. It was about 6 to 10,000 at the height, and towards the end it was down to 4,000 print run. And there were comics for kids, so you can assume half of them were just destroyed by the kids.
Yeah.
So they're really low print run. I guarantee you, when we went to the London Comic Mart, I went up to 3 or 4 of the guys and said, "Have you got any SpongeBob?" No SpongeBob. They just it's just rare.
Yeah.
Um,
If you didn't get them at the time, then the chance of picking them up afterwards is difficult.
really rare.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, I've now completed my SpongeBob run.
Well done.
I think I'm one of the few people. I'm one of the few people in the UK with a complete run of SpongeBob 1 to 85.
You'll be better with those comics, wouldn't you, mate? That'll be the ones you take with you.
That's it.
To Valhalla.
And they're great. The covers are fantastic. They're really funny. You know, it's like the Lois Lane covers. You know, you look at them and they make you laugh. They make you smile. Yeah. And I like to look at a cover and I either go, ooh, it's a Batman.
What action? What's going on there?
Or you look at it and it makes you go, oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
The Lois Lane ones I love because I look at them and I read the little speech bubbles and I go, oh, that's, how the hell has this happened?
Yeah.
Lois Lane is the queen of a jungle tribe and she's dressed in wearing a spear at Superman.
Yeah, she's in a bikini being tied up by a miniature version of the Justice League.
Yeah, you go, what the hell's happening? I love those, and it's the same with the SpongeBob ones. You go, what the hell's going? And you just
SpongeBob's probably even weirder because they haven't got to be realistic, have they? Because they are literally cartoon world, and you can be as crazy as they like and make up whatever mad shenanigans they want to.
But also with SpongeBob, as what's his name? Hillary was saying, they didn't enforce that you had to follow the style. Yeah. So they got a number of different artists in who did their own style on SpongeBob, which is great. It's like Picasso, some of them are unbelievable. They're sort of really off the wall covers.
Yeah,
I think history will, in 100 years' time, people will be going, what was the best comic series from the 20th century? And people will just go, it's a no-brainer. It was SpongeBob.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure they will. There'll be SpongeBob comics up in the National Gallery and that kind of thing.
Yeah. It'll be. There won't be any argument, there won't be any discussion about it.
I can't tell if you're joking or you've been drinking. It's one of the two. Probably both.
So when I've got all 85 issues, I will be doing a full
run through.
I'll be doing a special run through, and I may even, come on here next week and show you my
the whole lot again. We can't wait for that, mate.
I know. You can't wait.
Well, you can show like 40 of them maybe on Tuesday night when I'm going through the box, and another 40 on Wednesday night.
Yeah. I just want to see your face when you open up the stuff for me, even though you know what it is. I want to see.
Yeah, no. That's I'm not like you, Carl. I like to spread the pleasure out.
Yeah.
Because the original color stuff you're sending me, I will do a video just about that.
I think you should do a character study as well next week on what SpongeBob SquarePants taught you, what lessons in life you've got.
Yeah, well, I think it's very important. There's a lot of things we can learn from.
He taught you about morals.
Yeah,
how to live your life.
Yeah, I think that is a good point. That's one of the reasons I like SpongeBob.
His deep moral character.
It's a morality play.
Definitely. He is one of the most lovable characters in comics. And why is that? It's because he's very open.
You wear your pants in the same style.
Would you rather be a SpongeBob
at the bottom of the sea?
Or would you like to be a Krabby?
Or a Squidward?
Or a Squidward,
Yeah. So here's a funny idea. Should I try and get a hold of Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob?
Oh, that would be fantastic. You could get him on and he could I could show my SpongeBob's and he can do the voice.
If we get the voice of SpongeBob on, I might have to get my step boy on, Lisa's boy on, because he still talks about SpongeBob.
I could ask him.
You could say that SpongeBob
that'd be great. I could show my SpongeBob's and he could read the the bubbles, because SpongeBob does have speech bubbles on the cover.
Yeah. You could say that SpongeBob got me and Lisa together almost, if you wanted to like.
How did that happen, Gray?
Well, because me and Lisa met on a game on Facebook, a wrestling game of all things on Facebook, beating the crap out of each other and like talking rubbish in the chat. But her son happened to be a heavy metal fan. He first got into heavy metal because on one issue of SpongeBob SquarePants, they played Pantera, a band called Pantera, on one of the issues, and I was like, "Oh, I like this. Sounds good." And so when we was playing wrestling together, like it wasn't just playing wrestling. But she said, "Oh, my son likes heavy metal because he saw my whatever." Goes, "Oh," and then I happened to have my 40th birthday gig, and they came down to it. And then give it 6 months later, me and Lisa were an item. So yeah, you can say SpongeBob made my life better in a roundabout way. Yeah, we'll have to click that bit out and make that into an individual video.
That's the kind of story I have with my wife with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You'd look at me and not think I was an old freak like that, but
that's Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I know you're wearing Frankenfurter stockings underneath the camera.
Did you dress up in the corsets and the all that sort of stuff?
I was always in the golden Fruit of the Looms. I was Rocky. Because I
find it harder to believe that he doesn't dress up in suspenders than to believe that he didn't, if you know what I mean.
I had long blonde hair. I was Rocky.
Right.
I was wild and an untamed thing. A bee with a deadly thing. Oh God, I'm singing Rocky Horror things.
So much sure you would have been Frankenfurter.
Our Frankenfurters were beautiful women. So,
okay. Yeah, I actually saw that. I think about 1988 on stage, and I think it was Neil Planer from the Young Ones who was.
Planer,
Nigel Planer. Sorry, it was Neil from the Young Ones, wasn't he? Yeah.
But I think he was playing the straight part, wasn't he? He wasn't doing Tim Curry.
I thought he was playing Rip Raff.
A long while ago. Same week, I saw The Woman in Black, which is just ending now. Like after 30 years, I think I must have seen it in its first year at this theatre, and now it's ending. Like I think sometime this year. You ever seen that Woman in Black at the theatre?
I haven't actually. No, I'd have seen The Mousetrap.
Oh yeah, that's the longest one.
26th year. I think it's in. It's about its 59th year now.
Yeah. It's been one since the 50s, isn't it?
Last theatre show.
Don't tell me what happens, mate. Don't tell me what happens.
I'm not telling you. I'm not allowed to tell you.
They say, like you said at the end, didn't they? Or something. They come out and say, "Don't tell anybody."
The last theatre show we saw was the Green Day musical.
The what musical?
The Green Day. The band Green Day.
Oh, okay.
Poor you, Kyle.
My wife loves Green Day, so.
Oh dear, sorry about that.
Yeah.
But you love her though, so you got to put up with it.
Well,
yeah, fair enough.
Okay, guys, I'm going to go and watch.
You've done 2 hours.
I know. Kyle's recommendation. I'm going to go and watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas.
Right. Okay. You're going to stop Wednesday and watch that instead.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bug off as well. We've done. See you soon. Yeah. I'll call that a night now. Carl, have you got anything you want to show?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not back upstairs right now.
Yeah, it's 10:15. I'm going to go and put my dinner on so I can. And I'm going to go back to play a bit more Fallout.
Nope, I think my mom said bye night. I don't know if she's still watching.
Oh, yeah. Wish I had a while back here. Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
I figured I might mess with my mom a little bit when I talked about stuff.
Oh, it must be hard to lose a child, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Yeah,